Imagine a library without a card catalog. Books everywhere, but there'd be no way to find one, and there'd be no way to manage the collection. This is the status of trade secrets in most companies. What Trade Secret Examiner does is provide a card catalog for trade secrets within the company. This screen is the basic entry screen for a trade secret. This screen can be made available to anybody within the company, engineering supervisors, production supervisors, people who can enter the trade secrets in the company of which they're aware. This keeps all the workload from being concentrated in one small group in the intellectual property area, and it also keeps the trade secrets located where they are, where they're most secure already, rather than have one group in the center of the company go around and collect them. We fill out this page with some basic information, the name, the date, a description, and then we characterize the trade secret, much like a card catalog would have sections for biology and chemistry and physics and that sort of thing. We're going to give the trade secret a subject. Is it an engineering trade secret, manufacturing, marketing, quality assurance? We're going to say what format it's in. What is it? Is it a lab notebook? Is it a diagram? Is it a drawing? Is it a specification? And then we're going to say what product it applies to. For our hypothetical company here, it's an engine company, and we have the various engines we make. We also have all of our engines, the entire product line. We have the inline 4s, the V6s, the V8s, and the V-format engines, both V6s and V8s. So we can structure the product line so that we can capture most accurately to what the trade secret applies. Note that these topics are in English. So if I said the engineering specifications for the V6 engines, everybody already knows what that means. There's no training involved with this mechanism. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to rate the secret on 6 factors that are defined in law. And those 6 factors we're going to rate on a 1 to 5 scale because everybody already understands a 1 to 5 scale. Everybody knows what a 5-star hotel is or a 4-star movie. So we're going to rank them, the 6 factors, at a 5-point scale. And that means that we don't have to do any training for that either. And then finally, we'll select keywords that apply to this trade secret, and we can select them from a list or type in the ones we want. So let me go ahead and add a trade secret for a minute. So here we have our trade secret information. I've taken a couple minutes offline to put that in. We have a specification for a new cylinder head. We've created that trade secret. It was sometime in Q4 of last year. I don't need to put an exact date there, but the better I can nail it down, the better off I am. I have my description, a complete specification for the new high compression cylinder head for the inline 4-cylinder engines. There are engineering specifications for the inline 4s right here. That's what we call them anyway. We've just formalized it a little bit. I've put down the location, which is in the cylinder head group in the R&D facility. And I've ranked this trade secret on each of the 6 factors on a 1 to 5 scale. Finally, I've selected some keywords associated with this trade secret. Now, the interesting thing to note here is that the trade secret is actually not in the system. Just like the books aren't in the card catalog in the library, the trade secrets aren't in the system. We don't want to collect the trade secrets of the company into a central location that becomes then a huge security risk. What we want to do is we want to keep a card catalog of those. We want to have an index of those. We want to have an inventory of those. But we don't want the trade secrets themselves actually in the system. What we can do is we can put a hash code for this trade secret. And what that hash code would be is a hash code of the files out in engineering that contain the trade secret. We'll put the hash code in here so that later we can prove that this entry applies to those files, but we're not actually going to put the trade secret data here. So let's go ahead and save this. I have a registration number for this trade secret. It's 215. It will always be called 215. I can enter that number in my engineering notebooks that it relates to this entry 215. So let's go ahead and look and see what's happened now. If I'm a super user on this machine, if I'm an administrator in the IP group, I have all of these other things I can do besides just enter a trade secret. So let's take a look at the potential trade secrets. These are the trade secrets that people have entered, but they may or may not have been accepted by the IP group as really being trade secrets yet. Some of these we see have been accepted. Some of them have not. In particular, the specification for the new cylinder head has not yet been accepted. It's pending. So I can go ahead and look at that. This is what the fellow out in engineering entered as his trade secret data. This is what we just put in. And I'm going to go ahead and look at that and say, that's a good trade secret. I'm going to accept that. I can do some other things here. I can link it to other trade secrets. Again, I can record the hash code. I can change these values as well before I update it. So this is now the IP group vetting this entry that came in from somewhere else in the company. But I'm going to go ahead and update it. Now when I inventory the actual trade secrets, I see that the specification for the new cylinder head is now considered a trade secret. And I can select these on various bases. I can just show the engineering or the manufacturing or the marketing trade secrets. I can just show, for instance, the business plans or the specifications or the design data. I can show just the trade secrets for a specific product. Now looking at the trade secrets, one of the things we have here is the defendability factor. This is a numeric result of the 6 individual 1 to 5 ratings. So when I look at the defendability factor, that number is going to tell me which trade secrets are the strongest, which ones are easiest to prove in court. And I can sort on this value and put the best trade secrets up at the top. And there our specification for new cylinder head is one of the good ones. It's a 3.6. The reason this is important, let's say that someone left the company and stole our trade secrets. He stole the entire engineering database. He copied it to a terabyte solid state device, walked out the company with it in his pocket, and he's now left and gone to our competitor, and we found out that he did this. So I could sue on the basis of all the engineering trade secrets in the company. There might be thousands of them. The issue is that that's not what's going to be allowed in court. There are 2 proofs for each trade secret. Is it a trade secret, and has it been stolen? If I sue on 1,000 trade secrets, that's 2,000 decisions the jury has to make, and the judge won't allow it. He'll tell us to pick our best 10. He'll tell the defendant to pick their best 10. They'll pick our weakest 10 trade secrets to attack to the jury, and then say, and all the rest of these are the same. It's all smoke and mirrors. So what we want to do is, when we consider litigation, we want to look up all the engineering trade secrets. We want to sort them by their defendability factor. And we want to sue on the 10 best. Why give the other attorney a place to stand? Why give him an argument against a weak trade secret when we don't have to? We're only going to be allowed to argue 10 or so anyway. Let's pick our best 10. So the defendability factor allows us to do that. Now, one of the things that we can do in this system is we have a history. What the system does is every time a trade secret is changed, it keeps the old data. It creates a new record for the new data and marks that current, but it keeps all the old records. And so we can see that this trade secret I'm looking at here, the dynamometer test results from the 6-liter engine, have been changed numerous times over various dates. And it's kept a record of each one of those. Every time it does that, it creates a report on that trade secret. So we have, for that dynamometer test results, we have a report here, and it shows each of the changes. It shows all the data in the database for each of the changes, going back in time. This is very important in litigation because the data that's going to matter is the data that was current as of the time the fellow left. It's the data at the time of interest from the litigation. So when I look at these snapshot reports, that snapshot report was created when the trade secret was changed. When the trade secret's changed again, a new report will be created. When it's changed again, yet another new report will be created. Another thing I can do here is I can go to the litigation page. The litigation page, I have one current lawsuit. And if I take a look at that lawsuit, I can see that I've selected 6 trade secrets that are at issue in this lawsuit. We have a code for each trade secret, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, and D6. I've assigned those in this page. What that allows us to do in court is to refer to the trade secrets without naming them in open court. We have the ability to make a key for what the codes stand for, so the judge, the attorneys, the jury can all have a key of what those codes mean, but in open court we don't have to name our trade secrets. The other thing we have here is we have download snapshot reports for litigation. What this allows me to do is, with the press of a button, all the reports that apply to the trade secrets for this litigation can be put into a zip file and downloaded to my machine so that I can use them as an attachment to a court filing. So when we file suit and the other side produces their response, the next step they'll do is they'll make a motion to compel us to identify with particularity and specificity the trade secrets at issue. And we can go here and push this button. We can specify which litigation it is. So it's the Acme Engines litigation. And we can specify the date of interest. And what the machine will do is it will download to us a set of reports that were current at the time of interest. And I have all those reports available. It dumps out all the data in the database about the trade secrets as of the date that fellow left, for instance. I can staple them to my response to their motion to compel for specificity and send them in the same day. Not 30 days later, not after discovery, not after spending millions of dollars. I can send them in the same day. And when they get a response to that motion on the same day, that can be very helpful in promoting settlement talks rather than going ahead with costly litigation. Finally, one of the things we can do here is we can verify the blockchain. And I'll show the entire blockchain. You may have heard about blockchaining. The important thing about blockchaining is that it allows us to prove to the satisfaction of the court that the data has not been changed since it was entered. We can prove that it was the data on the date it was entered was exactly what we've produced to the court. That is, we're producing contemporaneous data, not some construct, not some artifact that was created for the purposes of litigation. This is extremely important. And we can prove that using blockchaining to the satisfaction of the court. So the goal of Trade Secret Examiner, as I say, is to create this card catalog of our trade secrets. It allows us to manage them. It allows us to inventory them. It allows us to make sure that they are properly secured. And it allows us to be responsive to litigation. The other thing is, if we need to consider litigation, the information in Trade Secret Examiner is available to management to make informed judgments about whether or not to proceed with litigation before the suit is filed. We don't have to spend months of discovery, file a public suit, have it appear in the newspapers and the industry press, pay millions of dollars to discover that we don't have a case, or that the trade secrets that were stolen were not adequately secured, or to discover that we misworded our complaint in such a way that the lawsuit can't prevail. What we can do is have the information about the trade secrets at issue in the litigation in our hands prior to making the decision to proceed with filing a lawsuit. That's very important. And it also allows us to short-circuit a lot of the discovery period, a lot of the legal costs, and a lot of the risks of not prevailing in the suit and at least getting injunctive relief to prevent our competitor, our departed employee, from using our trade secrets.